Thank you. Good morning. What I'm going to do, just more or less give you a little brief biography about myself and so forth, and then get into, I guess, what you all want to hear is Vietnam. And some of it is going to be kind of vague because I really don't want to get into too much in detail. But, you know, I think you'll find it interesting. I am from Brownsville. I did come out of Brownsville High School, okay? Brownsville High School, not Hannah. In '69. I graduated with midterm, even though I think my name's at the detention office, because I was there a lot of time. I should have a trophy. Right? But I joined the Army, or at least was drafted. Back then we had what is called a draft, and you got chosen for the draft by lottery numbers. And they went by your social securities. So when I checked it, and I just turned 18, my number came up, and I was number 3. So I said, well, I guess, you know, I'm going to get a letter sooner or later, so I said, let me go join. So the recruiting office was in San Benito, so I went up there doing a little lunch, I guess, if you know. And actually I was going to join the Air Force. You know. But the Air Force wasn't there. So I said, okay, let me go to the Navy. The Navy wasn't there. I said, well, let me go join the Marine Corps, all right? Marine Corps wasn't there. But guess who was there? The Army recruiter. And he said, hey, son, what are you doing? I said, well, I want to join. Come here. Let me sign you up right here. So we did all the paperwork and stuff, and he said, well, you're from Brownsville, aren't you? And he was saying, hey, the Golden Eagles. You don't want to wear an eagle patch? And I said, all you got to do is join the paratroopers. So I said, okay. And sign me up, and nothing better than jumping from a plane, right? And I'm going to get my patch, which is 101st Airborne Division, Screaming Eagles. So that's how I ended up in the Airborne. After that, completed the training and so forth, and I was supposed to be sent to Kentucky, the bluegrass hills of Kentucky, Blue Moon of Kentucky, never been out of Texas. So as we're lining up for the buses, the sergeant major comes in, and all the buses are full. He stops the line right here and says, okay, you guys, from here on out, you got 30 days leave. Next stop, here's your orders. You guys are going to Vietnam. To be honest with you, I didn't know where Vietnam was. That's how much I paid attention to it at that time. But I ended up in Vietnam in April of '69. And I got assigned to Chu Lai, which is a little bit north. I can still find the map, but it's right about here. In Chu Lai, our area of operation, the 101st, was the A Shau Valley. Right. The A Shau Valley is made up of intense elephant grass, which is pretty big, intense jungles, and hills, up and down. We call it the 13 Valley because you go up and you go down. That was our job, up and down, hopping what they call the hills, getting up in the hills. In May, my battalion was assigned to take a hill. Hill 937. And that's meters, right? It's that high, 937 meters, a little over 1,000 feet. But as I mentioned, the hills are straight up. And as you're getting up the hill, you see a ravine, so you got to go down the ravine. Then you get a little plateau, and you go up. So we were involved in it's called the Donai Pai Mountain for 10 days. After we completed that 10-day campaign, the politician says, well, the mission, we took Hill 937. One of the squads that was there named it Hamburger. So I was involved in Hamburger Hill. I think there's a movie out on that movie. The movie doesn't do justice, okay? Movies are movies. But I got wounded there on the very last day. So that's our history of what we're going in there. The hill itself, as I mentioned, the VC, or the North Vietnamese, this is the difference between the VC, Viet Cong, and the NVA, North Republican Army. Big difference. The NVA is hardcore. Those are regular soldiers. They're trained, they're fighting. Viet Cong are what you call guerrillas, more or less like insurgents in Iraq. Similarities? But yeah, they had the upper hill. Anybody you're on top of the hill, you got the upper hand because we got to come to you. So we kept going back and forth. and we had B-52 strikes that were hidden. These guys, at the top of the hill, they had trenches, and they would build bamboo sticks on top of it, very well fortified, so nothing happened. So we had some B-52 strikes and everything else. They were still there. They had what you call spider holes, where you would hit them to the inside of the mountain and just pop out. Just like a regular spider. You've seen that when they come up from the ground and they get their prey, bring it down. That's what they did. Very smart individuals. Anybody that tells you that the VC were stupid or ignorant, no, they were very smart. And they were very tiny, so you couldn't see them. You'd step over them and you'd look at them. But very well trained, courageous. Those are some of the better people that I've met, willing to die for their country, just as we were willing to die for each other. Remember what I said, the difference. They were dying for their country. Us, politics, got us into the war. Not the soldiers, politics. Once that first round goes whizzing by your ear, politics is out. You just got to take care of yourself, and you got to take care of your team. So we're fighting for each other. We're fighting for each other to come back home by. So we're in a different land, just like again. Where are we at? Iraq, Afghanistan. Same. Everybody's fighting to bring everybody back. Anyway, that's the air operation that I was in. So I mentioned elephant grass. I don't know. None of you know what elephant grass is, right? You ever seen a jungle movie where you have all these like palm sheets? They were very, very sharp, but it grows out of the ground. So you're going into the grass itself, which is about 7 to 10 feet tall, and scattered in, so you can't see where you're going. There's no trail. You got to make your own trail. And at night, when you go out in ambush, this is when they come by and they booby trap that thing, and trip little wires, very thin. So you have to be looking at the ground and see where it's at. The good, fortunate thing about it is that in that part of the area, when the full moon came out, and the early morning, the dew would come in, and this is when you would spot the wires. Excuse me. You have to be taught how to do that.